In this alternate timeline, after Lilith took Alastor's soul, he wanted a way out of it. What if he could have someone as strong as him? What if he could have someone as powerful as him, as smart as him, but would fake being dumb, or fake being insane, or just lay down or lay low? That's when he decided to use all of his magic to create a child. Her name was Nifty. As Alastor created her, she looked at him and said, "Hello, Papa! You want to have fun? Let's cause some havoc," as then she would giggle. As Alastor would smile and say, "Well, I guess we could there, dear. However, I suggest we do something, I don't know, different." Nifty would say, "What do you mean? I want to train you, make you as strong as me, but you'll pretend to be under me. And when the time is right, you'll get my freedom, dear Nifty." Nifty would nod and say, "Yes, father." As then Alastor would take Nifty out and begin to train her. As Nifty started to train, she started to learn how to use magic, learn how to use her powers, and learn how to sneak up on people. As one day Alastor would say, "Let's test out your training, my daughter," as Nifty would then smile. As Nifty would go to a bar with a few big, strong men there. As they were loan sharks, they were all drinking and laughing, having a good time. As Nifty would walk up to them, the loan sharks would look at Nifty and say, "Oh, hello there. Are you lost there, little girl?" Nifty would pretend to be a little kid and say, "I'm lost." As the loan shark says, "We know what to do with lost girls," as they would take her to the back. As then the boss finished his drink, he would walk and see what happened. He would see his, co-workers all destroyed, laying down on the floor. As he said, "What happened?" Nifty said, "I can tell you what happened. Mayhem!" As Nifty would jump at the boss. As the boss tried to run away, he would pull out his pew-pew and try to blast Nifty, but it was no match, as Nifty easily overpowered him. Begin to scream, "Please, please don't hurt me. I promise I could give you money. I could give you power." As Nifty would say, "I don't want money. I don't want power. I just want a good time." As Nifty would take care of him. Then she would run to Alastor and say, "It's done, it's done, it's done." As Alastor would smile and say, "Excellent, my dear Nifty. Now that that's taken care of, I think it's time we do something interesting." Alastor would say with a smirk on his face, as Nifty would look up at Alastor and say, "Oh, what's that, Papa?" "Oh, nothing much. I think it's time you meet someone, Husk. He used to be an overlord himself. He could teach you a lot of things about how the streets are run. Besides, I gotta go somewhere in a month." Alastor would sigh and look at his phone, as Nifty would say, "Why do you have a phone? I thought you didn't like that." "I don't, darling, but she makes me use it." As then Alastor would walk with Nifty and meet up with Husk. He walked up to Husk. Alastor didn't tell Husk that this was his child. In fact, he wanted to keep that a secret. So it made it seem like it's just someone else under Alastor. As Husk said, "Wow, so Alastor owns your soul too, huh? So, were you an overlord at one point?" Nifty would think about it and say, "Yeah, I was an overlord. It was fun. But working with Alastor is even more fun." Husk would say, "Wait, you actually like being under Alastor?" "Yeah." As in Husk would look around and say, "You're joking, aren't you?" "Nope." As in Husk would sigh and say, "Great, do you want a drink?" "I don't drink that devil's poison. I like to drink red things instead." Husk would then say, "Great, I am with a monster." As then Husk and Nifty would start to talk, Nifty would say, "I want to learn things. I want to learn how to hide in the shadows. I want to learn techniques. And I want to learn how to run things like Alastor asked me to." As Husk would start to get suspicious, if she was an overlord, she already would have known these things. She must have been something beyond the overlord. Maybe an old friend of Alastor's, or maybe someone who just newly went to hell, who Alastor was fond of. Husk didn't really know any of these things, but he decided just to help Nifty out and stop asking questions. As Husk would help Nifty out, he would end up improving her situation a lot. He would teach her how to handle cards and do silly magic tricks, for one, and he would teach her the important things of how to run a business and things like that. However, one day, Husk would look at Nifty. Husk would then say, "I know that..." Nifty would say, "Let me stop you right there. You've been a good friend, so promise to keep this a secret." Husk would nod. "I'm his daughter." As then, she walked off, as Husk was shocked, but it all made sense as he sighed. "Good luck, girl," Husk would say. As then we cut to when Nifty moved into the hotel, as everything would continue like in canon, but in this timeline when everyone slept, Nifty would go out and begin to spy on people. As Nifty would go out, she would spy on Vox, Alastor's greatest enemy. Nifty would have the ability to cloak herself and hide behind people. As Nifty was listening, Vox started to talk. As Vox would go, "So, everyone, the Alastor's back, that radio demon. We need a new spy to deal with them." As then they would all continue to talk, Nifty would learn the truth that Serpentis was a spy. As then she laughed, she would then walk off and go to Alastor. As Nifty left, she was walking to go back to the hotel. But as she was, someone would bump into her. It was a hellhound. As the big, strong hellhound would look down at Nifty and say, "Watch where you're going." As Nifty would giggle and say, "Oh, fun! I haven't got to fight in a while. This will be entertaining." The hellhound began to charge at Nifty on all fours, as Nifty jumped out right at the last second. As the hellhound would yell at Nifty, yell obscenities, and try to, attack her, she would dodge it every time until she pulled out her angelic weapon and took care of him within an instant, as she said, "Aw, now that was no fun." As Nifty would then start to, walk over to see her father, Alastor. As Alastor was sitting down, Nifty would tell him that Serpentis was a spy. Alastor would say, "He seems pretty harmless, though. I'll keep an eye on him. Good job, my daughter." As then things would play out normally like in canon for a while now. Nifty would go out and spy on Vox. She would go out and spy on other overlords and see things through. However, her role of playing things in the shadows wouldn't come up much until Angel took her out for a nice time on the town. As Nifty was out there at the club, she would pretend to act dumb, trying to clean, trying to do things like that. But then she saw someone, Valentino, and she wanted to mess with him really bad. And as Angel was talking with Val, suddenly Nifty would start to crawl up Val. As Val would look and say, "What is going on? What is crawling up me?" As then she ripped off a bit of his hair and laughed, "Hee hee hee." As then Val would look at Nifty angry, but for a split second, Val felt fear, as he felt great amount of energy, great amount of power coming from Nifty. Of course, Val would never tell anyone, but he felt something, and that something was fear, genuine fear. As Nifty had a strong, powerful dark aura coming from her, Val managed to shake, being generally afraid of what was coming out of her. However, that wouldn't last long, as things would continue like in canon until Alastor and Nifty would have a chat. As Alastor would look at Nifty and say, "Soon a battle will happen, and I want you to run up to heaven when it does and free my soul. You see, my soul is owned by Lilith, and I need you to get rid of her. Pretend to be one of her trusted advisors. Here." Alastor would give her a shapeshift spell. "If you do this, I'll be free, my daughter, and we can have fun together as father and daughter." As Nifty would say, "Yay, yay, yay!" As Nifty would sit by and wait for the battle to happen, wait for Adam to come attack. Eventually, Adam would arrive. As Adam flew down with his army, he began to wreak havoc. As Nifty would quickly shapeshift and run into the portal, pretending to be an exterminator. As Nifty was an exterminator, she would run around, as she would use a spell to try to find Lilith, as she would walk up towards her. Lilith would look at Nifty, not knowing it was her, and saying, "What are you doing here?" As she would say, "I was made to protect you. It seems like there's a security breach." Lilith would stand up and say, "Security breach?" She would get aggravated and start to walk up to the angelic angel, or Nifty, but she didn't know that, as she would say, "Are you serious right now? Do you know who I am? How can someone break into heaven? That's nonsense. You need to do your job." Suddenly she would feel sharp pain, as she would turn back to her true form and say, "It's me." As Lilith would say, "You mother," as then she would pass out and be destroyed. As Nifty would giggle, she would go back through the portal, but right before she went back to the hotel, she would jump on Adam and take care of him, as she began to laugh sinisterly. As then she said, "Now where's Alastor?" As they all looked sad. As Nifty said, "No, As Nifty was about to cry, she couldn't believe it. Nifty started to cry. Alastor would show up behind her and say, "What's wrong, my daughter?" As everyone was shocked, as they would say, "Daughter," as Nifty jumped up and hugged Alastor and said, "Dad, you're okay." "Yes, and now we can go out as father and daughter. Now I'm free, thanks to you, Nifty." As Nifty and Alastor would start to sing, as then they would both walk off, able to do whatever they wanted now. And that's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below. I really enjoyed making it. It was a very unique concept. Sorry that I'm kind of out of breath right now. I've been doing stuff, and I'm really just sick right now. I've been coughing and sneezing all day. Before, it was just a little cold, and I was like, I'll get over it tomorrow. Nope. And today, after this, I have to go to my job, so hopefully that'll be cleared up. Because I've been off for this vacation. Now that I'm finally back, my first day I have to call off. I really don't want to do that, but, I can't really help it if I'm sick as a dog, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I hope I get better. And even though that I'm sick, I'm just coughing and sneezing, it's no big deal. I don't feel really bad. Hopefully I didn't jinx it and I'm going to be laying in a bed all day tomorrow. God, I hope so. I mean, I hope not. God, that would suck. Anyway, how are you all doing? Let me know in the comments below, because, today has been a pretty nice day. Even though I've been sick, I've seen quite a bit. I've been looking stuff up, I've been researching things, and, I've been learning about myself. And, I've been enjoying what I'm learning, And that's why I give advice to everyone. You should always learn about yourself. You should always learn new things about yourself. That's what's important. And yeah, I love all of you guys. And I'm very grateful that you're all watching my content. I'm very grateful that you're all there for me. It means the world to me that you're there. It means the world to me that you watch me. And it means the world to me that you're a part of my lives. It really does. And I love all of you. Each and every single one of you, I love completely. And I wish you the absolute best. I really do. And yeah, before I go, I just want to ask a simple question. And that question is, what do you think about the future? Do you think your future's bright? Are you kind of pessimistic? Because there's all kinds of people around the world. There's all kinds of places around the world. And I just want to ask all of you, what does your future look like? What do you think your future will be like? Do you think it's positive? Do you think it's negative? Let me know in the comments below. Peace out. Love you all.